Welcome to my channel, HF Coins World. Have you ever reached into your pocket after buying a cup of coffee, glanced at the loose change in your hand, and wondered if one of those ordinary-looking nickels had a story no one ever told you? Most people see 5 cents and move on without another thought. But every so often, a single coin quietly reminds collectors that history doesn't always announce itself with gold or silver. Sometimes it arrives in the form of a nickel that millions of Americans spent without a second glance. The 2005 United States nickel is one of those coins. At first, it looks familiar. It feels ordinary. Yet the deeper you look, the more interesting its story becomes. And before we reach the end of this journey, you'll discover why some collectors still search through rolls of nickels hoping to find one example that stands apart from the rest. Welcome back to HF Coins World, where every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered. Today we're exploring a year that marked an important chapter in modern American coinage, not because every 2005 nickel is rare or valuable, but because it represents a moment when the United States Mint was doing something different, something many people never noticed. While these coins passed through cash registers, vending machines, and family piggy banks across the country. Imagine it's the summer of 2005. You stop at a neighborhood gas station somewhere in the United States, pay with a $20 bill, and the cashier drops a handful of change into your palm. You barely look at it before slipping everything into your pocket. Years later, while cleaning out an old jar of spare change, one nickel catches your attention. The design looks slightly different from the older nickels you remember. Suddenly, a simple question comes to mind. Why does this one look different? That single question has led many people into the fascinating world of coin collecting. To understand why the 2005 nickel matters, we have to go back to the early 2000s. The United States Mint was celebrating the historic Lewis and Clark expedition through the Westward Journey nickel series. Instead of using the same reverse design year after year, special designs were introduced to honor one of the greatest exploration stories in American history. In 2005, collectors received 2 different reverse designs during the year, making it one of the most memorable periods for modern Jefferson nickels. One design features the majestic American bison, a powerful symbol of the nation's frontier. The other displays the dramatic Pacific coastline, representing the explorers finally reaching the western edge of the continent after an extraordinary journey. For many Americans, these weren't just new coin designs. They were tiny history lessons traveling from one pocket to another, quietly connecting everyday commerce with an important chapter of the country's past. Changed again, they became memorable almost immediately. Setting aside examples that simple act of curiosity helped introduce an entirely new. Of course, that doesn't automatically mean every 2005 nickel is worth a fortune. Value because they were produced in large numbers. But collectors know that condition, mint mark, strike quality, and unusual minting errors can make a significant difference. That's why experienced hobbyists never judge a coin by its date alone. They study every detail before deciding whether it deserves a place in a collection. As we continue, we'll look at the specific mint marks and the kinds of unusual characteristics that have made certain 2005 nickels far more interesting than the average example. Some of those details are easy to where to look, and that's where this comes to an end. Its greatest value may be the story it carries. Maybe the next time you receive change at a grocery store, one of them might simply be an ordinary 5-cent coin. Always examine their coins carefully. The excitement of coin collecting has never been about guaranteed riches. Every collection starts with one coin, one question, and one moment of curiosity. Thank you for spending your time with us here on HF Coins, United States Nickel. Don't forget to, so you won't miss future discoveries from the. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep looking a little closer. Sometimes the most ordinary coin has the most extraordinary story. As our journey comes to an end, it's worth remembering that the real value of the 2005 United States nickel isn't found only in a price guide or an auction result. Its greatest value may be the story it carries. It reminds us of a unique moment in American history when everyday pocket change became a way to celebrate exploration, discovery, and the spirit of adventure. Maybe the next time you receive change at a grocery store, from a vending machine, or while cleaning out an old coin jar, you'll pause for just a second before dropping those nickels back into circulation. One of them might simply be an ordinary 5-cent coin. Another could be a beautifully preserved example with collector appeal. And if you're especially fortunate, you might discover an interesting variety or mint error that deserves a closer look. That's why experienced collectors always examine their coins carefully, instead of making assumptions. The excitement of coin collecting has never been about guaranteed riches. It's about curiosity, patience, and the thrill of learning something new from objects that millions of people overlook every single day. Every collection starts with one coin, one question, and one moment of curiosity. Thank you for spending your time with us here on HF Coins World. If you enjoyed this journey into the story behind the 2005 United States nickel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future discoveries from the world of American coins. And before you put your spare change away today, take one more look at your nickels. You never know what piece of history might already be sitting in the palm of your hand. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep looking a little closer. Sometimes the most ordinary coin has the most extraordinary story.